Okay.
One of the other things they're having trouble with is the fuel. We've got alcohol in this fuel and it only lasts about 30 days. And as we use it, it gets full of water and it messes up the carburetor. And these carburetors cost about $100 to rebuild one of these carburetors. And somebody told me it's cheaper to replace it. So yeah, I replaced this carburetor for 30 bucks because it's self-adjusted, which trying to get a carburetor adjusted right is something I don't do every day. I don't really know how to do it. But changing the carburetor, and actually my son, I throwed this job on my son. I said, here, change it. He said, how do you do it? And I said, figure it out. Nobody else taught me how to do things. Just go ahead and just do it. Take it off. There's just 4 bolts. Put it on there and make it work. So he put it on there, but I actually made it. I did check some other things. The problem of it is with this fuel, it ruins these motors and we can't get nothing done. And I'm going to take this tractor here as gas as well. Lisa, go and shine in here. This is just from the fuel from this year out of their tank. And it's got this white stuff and this rust, and it's all because of that dang alcohol. And I'm not against alcohol fuels. I know that the silliness that the alcohol plants are driving the cost of fuel, food up. That's a bunch of nonsense. It has nothing to do whatsoever. The corn has distiller's grain. A lot of farmers use it as a supplement on the feed. It's not that problem. The problem of it is I live close to a town that has EPA restrictions and I can't get non-alcohol fuel, and it ruins these small engines and everything. So everybody is trying to go out of state to get fuel so we can put in there. So I travel 40 miles to get a damn can of fuel to make this motor work. We spent all this money for pollution stuff. The new tractors have to have another thing put on it, and then they got to have a new muffler like catalytic converters. We spent all this money for pollution, and now this David Keith that Dane Wigington had a thing with, or as actually a news commentary did that you can find of it on Geo Engineering that he's supporting. He says, now we're going to put pollution in the air to stop global warming. So we spent all this money and all this time trying to eliminate it, and here our government turns right around, and actually they're dumping fly ash even out there from the coal mines. How stupid can our government get? These are the people that's running our nation, that's killing our families. We need to get them out of there now. So basically, you know, even if, you know, you got to take orders in the military and stuff like that. But remember, you guys in the military, you're up here to uphold the Constitution of the United States comes first. And your paychecks come second. And the bottom line of it, I got a kick out of this Lee Emery. He just passed away, and he played a movie that I'd never really seen until a couple months ago, and then unfortunately he passed away, Hard Metal Jacket or whatever. And that boot camp training, you know, it was basically outrageous, but he was an actor. But he was emphasizing to make the point, you have to make it work with what you got. So if he had to hit the guy upside the head on both sides to tell him which is left and right, he didn't do it out of meanness, he did it out of survival for his country. That was the point. It's a shame that the movie, in the end, it was, to me, tragic, but I wondered how many people was saved because of them type of leaders and the drill sergeants of the Marines and stuff. So my hats are off to you for that. And these are the leaders that we need to have here, people that's not afraid to take chances to do good things. And there my hat go off again to Dane Wigington for doing this, because he's put the real paperwork out here. All we got to do is pay attention and do something about it. And we need to do it now. So I fixed this. Can you fix that? Next step, we're going to the field cultivator that broke down out in the field. I got it over to my friend's house, basically we'll talk about that. Let's go ahead and make a track here. I got trail of parts and stuff. I got a kick out of that one lonely farmer, Wes. He's got a hay baler like me. And this shop's a mess. Well, bottom line is we gotta get a crop going. And as soon as we get time, we'll clean up the shop. But the thing of it is, a lot of this stuff that I'm showing you today is stuff that I learned from my dad, from other mechanics. My heroes has been mechanics, you know. One of them was Ted Huber. He was in the Army. He was a great mechanic, builds things. Another one is Donnie Wells. He nicknamed the Deer Doctor. He fixed old John Deere's. My dad was a tank mechanic. He learned how to do this. What had happened is this bearing went out here on this rocking thing. Wheels are on both sides, and it was rubbing on the frame, and I couldn't get it all the way home. I know I'd blow the tire out, so I pulled over, and you know, if I blow the tire out, then the thing's going to be dragging in the road. I knew I had to fix it before I get it home, so fortunately I got a friend that I could park the field cultivator with. And this is another couple $100 worth of parts. So this all's got to come out of an acre ground. This is a bearing, and I took it home to cut the old ones out with a torch. One of them was completely gone. Before I put the races in there, I did grease the grease fitting up to make sure it would take grease. This is a race. And the races were, the bearing would go in, like this would be the bearing. This is a small one. And I thought, you know, how do you get a race back in there? You drive your hammer? Well, we've got all these sockets, so we look for sockets to be the right size, and we put it in there, and I drove it in with a hammer, and that's how we drive races in there. So basically I got this race, you know, we look for a socket. Naturally we'd have a smaller one, and we try to get it onto this edge and drive it in. So these are all, we use our tools probably for the, you know, pretty tough on it. But I wanted to show how you did that, and this is one of the nice, you know, things here on it, because a lot of people don't know it. They've got bushings to drive things in, and it's like a socket. And so basically that's how we drive our races in. We use a socket that fit right in there. Of course, you have to have the socket to fit. I've got a lot of old tools and stuff and sockets that we bought at auctions and stuff like that. So I got a lot of unique, somewhat tools being there on that. Now the other thing, and I'm going to make it fast, is I got to pack these bearings, and I'll put grease there, and I'll roll that on until the grease comes out at the top. And I was going to show you to do that, but I'll be making a mess here right quick. And I think the idea is you just take your handful of grease and you just rug it, and you keep turning this bearing until the grease comes out, and that's how we hand pack a bearing. Shove it in there, and then there's these are seals that go over that, and I'll tap that in there, and that'll protect that bearing there, because this will be exposed to whatever. Well, I think it happened, probably a rock got in there and chewed that up and let it get bad. We've got a lot of slag that they put down with the rock on the oil, and it picks up with the oil and gets into everything that we got, and it's actually ruining a lot of parts and bearings and stuff. And I'm going to blame some of that on it, or maybe I forgot to grease it. What can I say? Somebody missed it, and I kept missing it, or whatever part of it. That's more likely what happened. So these are the things. I get them fixed, I get them going, and I just want everybody, while I'm out here working hard fixing things to make things grow, I want them to stop doing the geoengineering, because look at that streak across the sky. Can you see it, Lisa?
Yeah, I don't know if my camera will pick it up.
Yeah, right across the trees.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're dealing with this all the time. We're breathing it. That's why we got it. People, if your parents or something's got Alzheimer's, go and have them take their hair and take a hair sample. And I don't know why nobody wants to do that. I think the biggest thing of it is there's a lot of money being made with Alzheimer's, with medicine. Damn it, just prevent it. The other thing of it is cancer. I just heard that the polio vaccination had a germ in it that caused cancer. That's hereditary from one generation to the other. If somebody did this, they ought to be held accountable. I don't know if they did, but it needs to be investigated. Third thing of it is, it's documented that damn Hitler, he had found it, had paid a scientist or somebody, a doctor or whatever, to have a cure for cancer. And then I heard that Rockefeller's got the patent and never let it out. So I don't know if these things are true, but it needs to be investigated. And if they are true, they ought to be held accountable. And whoever's doing this shit needs to be held accountable. Anybody that's letting this happen, you know, even the directors of an organization that's supposed to be protecting the environment, if they know this is happening or whatever, don't take my word, Dane Wigington's word, anybody's word on what's going on. Go out and investigate it yourself. You almost need to investigate every detail to know that it's done right, and go from there. Thank you for your time. I appreciate my son for doing a good job and doing the right thing, and the people who teach him, and everybody else that's doing good. Geoengineering is real. It's happening. It's hurting us. It needs to be stopped. Dane Wigington's the leader in this fight and giving out the most credible information. Please support him. And all these other people that's talking about him, let them talk. My dad always says, give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. I think Dane was been in a few debates with them. And the more you listen to them talk, and Dane squeezes the information and that out of them, at their knowledge about it and the way they go about it, hee-hawing around, it's obvious that we have a major problem in our academia education system. It's bought and paid for, and if we the people are going to do something about it, we need to do it right here, right now. Thank you.